Hello, I'm joined today by Matt Howett, who is the founder and principal analyst at Assembly Research. Welcome, Matt.
Hi.
Hi, you've recently published a report on the potential impact if Huawei 5G is restricted in any way. And maybe just before we talk about the details of the report, perhaps you can say who commissioned it, why was it commissioned, and the methodology behind it.
So the report was commissioned by Mobile UK, which is the trade body that represents the interests of the 4 UK mobile operators. And the feeling, I think, was that there was obviously a debate happening in the country about the use of Huawei for 5G, possible restrictions and what the impact of that could be. I think the feeling was that there wasn't so much evidence, and it wasn't really a fair and balanced debate about the sort of wider implications of some sort of restriction placed on any one vendor in the supply chain. And so they wanted something which was sort of more informative to inform that public debate about what a restriction could mean for the UK and its consumers.
Yeah. And the methodology behind that, was it one-to-one research?
So we worked very closely individually with the mobile operators. So we conducted interviews with them. They spoke to us about the extent to which they are reliant on Huawei for 5G and actually 4G, because the way that many of the upgrades are going to work are basing the 5G upgrade on the 4G infrastructure. And also to the extent that they had got plans to use that in the future and what that rollout strategy looked like. So it was a very close cooperation with them to understand exactly what the impact would be.
Okay, so from your research, what is the potential risk to the UK economy if Huawei 5G is restricted?
So what we did was, as a starting point, used what the government itself sees as the prize or the benefit of 5G for Britain. And there are various estimates of what that looks like, but many of them run into the tens and hundreds of millions of pounds. So what we did was to take what the government itself recognises in the early years of having strong 5G leadership, what that economic benefit could be. And then we apply a restriction scenario to that, so a delay depending on the severity of a restriction that could be placed on Huawei. And we estimate that if there is a delay of between 18 and 24 months, depending on the severity of a restriction, that the economic impact of that would vary between 4.5 and 6.8 billion pounds.
These are big numbers. And what are the operators saying about the Huawei issue? I mean, what's their feedback?
Well, I think obviously all of the operators use Huawei to some extent in their network, and some of them use it more so than others, and the plans vary obviously depending on each operator. But I think many of them recognise that Huawei has been a crucial partner to get them to the stage that they are, and crucially to get the UK to where it is with its 4G leadership. Huawei is recognised as having an advantage already in terms of technology when it comes to 5G, and I think they see them as a trusted partner. You know, they're very happy with the progress that they've had so far and the performance of the network.
Yeah, perhaps a broader question: how important is it for UK operators to get a 5G leadership position? I mean, why is that important?
It's crucial that we do notice that there is a distinction between launching 5G and having that early leadership. And the early leadership is something that the government itself has positioned Britain as wanting to have. And some of the benefits that we risk losing if we delay the launch of 5G are only there because we have that early leadership. And that's because we're attracting investment away from other countries in Europe when it comes to new and emerging technologies where they want Britain to be at the forefront. So a delay would mean missing some of that early leadership advantage. You know, it's about making sure that we're at the front of the pack when it comes to 5G.
Yeah. So in summary, what are the main messages from this report? What are the key takeaways for you?
I think the key thing is obviously there is a huge economic impact if there is a restriction placed on Huawei in the supply chain. That's not only a bad thing because of the technology benefits and leadership that Huawei have, but it also makes that supply chain more resilient. It prevents operators being over-reliant on any one supplier. So I think that is a crucial thing that we need to understand. The fact that Britain would potentially lose out its leadership position is obviously a problem for the UK economy and UK PLC. It risks falling down global rankings, it risks a reputational damage in the future, which I think is problematic if they're trying to attract new investment and new industries post-Brexit. So I think we need to think about the fact that the UK has got to be up there in terms of leadership.
Matt, it's been great talking to you. It sounds very important research. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.
Thank you.